Motorhomes are a pretty neat concept. Problem is, most of them are huge and I barely even trust myself in driving just a normal car around. That being said, the solution to this problem sounds pretty simple, just make an RV the size of a normal car. That's it, that's today's video. Now, I already know my own skill level when it comes to building custom vehicles, so I also know this build is not going to be easy. I've built this as sort of like a test to kind of figure out a general shape and all of that stuff. Yeah, this is not going to look very realistic, so I kind of have to lean into the cartoony side, if you get what I mean. And I don't know, I'll figure I'll just start with building the bumper. I'm not yet sure if I like it, maybe I'll change it later. I mean, it will be pretty difficult to change when the entire van is built around it, but we'll figure something out. I will cheat a little by just copying this part of the front of the van over. And I mean, sure, the windshield as well. I mean, if I already have it, right? Now the thing is, doing it like this, like using a solid block like this, it does take up a lot of interior space, so I will probably try and avoid doing it like that. Now this still isn't perfect. I mean, if I had Transform Plus, this would be a lot like simpler to kind of do properly. But you know, because of how things are without it, this is just the next best solution. I like the general shape of like this front. It looks alright, it looks fine. Now we just have to finish the headlights, which turned out to be quite difficult to do, as I had to place like 3 different items into one another to get the headlights to look like I imagined. I then had to use structurals to give the headlights a border, which was very finicky as well. In the end, they at least turned out way better than the ones I made in testing, so that's at least something. Now it's time to continue with the other stuff. Part of the other stuff is doing the wheel arches, and I have no clue how I'm going to do those. We could of course do something like this, but that will take away a lot of our interior space, so I'm not sure if I really want to do that. In the front, I mean, it doesn't matter too much, because I mean, we're not going to do anything like crazy interesting here, but we have to repeat the pattern to the rear as well. And well, in the back we do kind of have to be space efficient, because that's where we're going to live, so I'll have to figure something else out. First thing that's come to my mind is that we use one of these transparent cubes, and then we can just build off of them. Like this, which is way more space efficient. But the problem with that is that we can't copy and paste the entire build anymore, because now it's also built on top of the wheels. That is probably just a disadvantage we have to live with. Well, now because we've built off of this wheel, my shapes don't really line up anymore, which is rather annoying. I'll have to find a way to get around that. I didn't get around it in the end, surprisingly not because I'm lazy, but because it just stopped being a problem. Like, in the end, it just wasn't noticeable anymore, so I just stopped caring. Now, up until now, the front actually, like, came together pretty nicely. So let's just hope it keeps going like this. To finish off the driver's cabin, I added frames to the windows, and I also outlined where the doors would be. The doors are obviously not functional, because I have no idea how to do that. But it's still a nice detail, I guess. Finally, I also added custom mirrors. Exciting stuff. I mean, shape-wise, the most complicated part of this build is pretty much finished. Now we just have to figure out the rest, so that's going to be fun. To start off the rear of the van, I copied the front bumper to the back, which I followed up by making some basic taillights. I mean, yeah, those are definitely taillights. Now this window in particular will probably not be as useful, as I will actually add in a sliding door right here to get into the van. So you know, the window will kind of be covered by that. But I mean, it's still nice to have at least a little bit of daylight inside of the van. Now for the final question, will I actually build the back or will I just leave the tailgate open? Because I mean, if we left the tailgate open, the interior will feel a bit more spacious. Which I mean is great in an RV of this size, but I kind of have to add a ladder to the back of this van, because of reasons I will later show you. So yeah, I will close off the tailgate. For now I will leave the roof open, so we can have an easier time building the interior. But before we can start with that, we first of all have to figure out a layout for all of this. But thankfully I already thought a lot about this. So here's what I have in mind. This area right across from the entrance is going to be a bathroom. Then right next to that I will try and add in a small kitchen. And then opposite from that I will add in a small lounging area. Now for the bathroom though. I will start off by building these walls. And now that that's done, I'll have to figure out what the smallest possible toilet we have is. For lack of a better method, I will just place down all of them, and I'll just hope we'll immediately see what the best option is. Now okay, so this one is obviously way too big, and this one is as well. This one is very wide, but not as long. Same with this one. That one is just nasty. And these ones are all the same size, I believe. Out of all of these, this one is probably the smallest. And yeah, I believe you can get away with using this. Now all of these things are very big. I mean, okay, this one is literally bigger than the bathroom itself. I mean, we do have this drinking fountain. That one does fit. I mean, can we use it to like wash our hands and stuff? No, we can only drink from it. That's unfortunate. I just feel like that's probably the only one that would really fit us, especially if we have to fit a shower in here as well. Yeah, it's not looking great. Do we have other drinking fountains? I mean, that's also very big though. What if I place the shower in first? Well, there's just not much we can do. I mean, technically this is good enough if you just want to get your hygiene up. And I mean, because you could technically wash your hands with it, I'll place the drinking fountain right here. Because I mean, it's better than nothing. The bathroom was the most difficult part of this project for sure. There was just so little space to work in. I couldn't even turn my camera without clipping out of the van. I used planks to create sort of an interior wall, kind of like wallpaper really. So I could use a tile texture in the bathroom without you being able to see it from the outside. Thankfully I didn't have to add in many other details because the bathroom is so small, so I just added in a few hygiene products like soap and shampoo. Honestly, it's hard to convey how tiny this bathroom really is. I mean, just for reference, I can barely fit inside it. You basically have to sit down on the toilet in order to shower. It is really tiny, but it's functional, and it does at least look interesting. But with that, I mean, the first and probably one of the most important things is actually finished now. To move on to the kitchen, I mean, it's obvious that we can't fit any like real appliances in here because, I mean, just look at them. Honestly, I feel like we're probably even going to struggle to put like one like microwave in. Yeah, I mean, just by placing it here in the corner, it already clips out of the van. To be fair, this is a pretty big microwave, and I'm pretty sure like this one is smaller. Yeah. So I mean, this can work out, I guess. But by doing something like this, we can also add in kind of a shelf. And then this right here would be our cooktop. I mean, for the stove, we will have to do something custom. But technically, you can cook food in the microwave, so it is a kitchen, technically. I don't think, yeah, we don't have any of those. You know, those portable, like, induction cooktops? We don't have any of them. We just have this regular household one, which doesn't fit, obviously. The game is making it very difficult to do what I want to do here. I mean, if we get out the food canning station, this does look like one of those portable like cooktops. The question is, can we actually use it as one? Well, yes, but we can only like make jams and jellies, which is not really what I'm looking for. But this is this is very difficult. We also technically need a fridge. We have mini fridges. Even the mini fridges look huge though, and they also just don't fit. Otherwise, I mean, aside from the normal fridges, we only have the cooler, which again is huge. No, I mean, this isn't perfect for a kitchen. Honestly, it's not even acceptable. I mean, I couldn't cook anything in here, but it's functional in theory. And to be honest, the way the project is going right now, that is the best we could have hoped for. I mean, now we just have to detail the kitchen. And I mean, that's pretty much half the interior finished already. I mean, I say already, I've not been doing that much. Now for the lounge area, there will be a grand total of 1 seat. It's also starting to become significantly more annoying to move the camera around inside. But that's beside the point. The main question right now is, can I even move inside the van? It's very cramped, but technically I do fit in it, even with a lot of headroom. And look, I can even sit down. That's great. Well, now it's time to detail all of this up and to add in like the driver cabin. I'll add in the small details and do this cabin off camera because honestly I have no clue how I'll do them. And then yeah, I'll be back after that. So I finished the interior, and I mean, just look at this. So this is the cabin. Honestly, I was not expecting much here, but I've built these custom seats, which, hold on, let me open that door. By ripping it out, you can actually sit in these, so it is theoretically possible to drive. Well, no, it's not possible to drive it, but you can look like you're doing it, which is the next best thing, I guess. And now the bathroom you've seen, of course. I still have to color the soap and all of that stuff. And then here we have the small kitchen, of course, which is kind of usable. I mean, you can use the microwave. I still have to put a cooler somewhere in here. And then finally, here's the lounge. I have put a basic stool under there, so you can sit here. In theory, at least. But at this point, you may be asking yourself, where are we supposed to sleep? Because we sure as hell won't on this tiny sofa. But don't worry, I have thought of that. Before I can install my solution, however, we first of all have to put a roof on this van, which I'm doing by just using planks. Just by looking at it, you will notice that this isn't really the perfect solution. It isn't very pretty to look at, I have to admit. But yeah, let's get back to the bed. Because for the bed I will just get a sleeping bag and plop it onto the roof. And then we use basic shapes to enclose it into, well, I also don't know what these are called. I've seen pictures online of camper vans with these kind of modifications on their roof. I mean, the name doesn't matter anyway. Okay, so now it does look a little weird. Maybe it's just too tall. Maybe I should change it back to this. Okay, so it still looks weird. I also can't think of anything I can do to make it look less weird though. I mean, that's just what this stuff looks like. Will it look better if we added structurals for support? I guess it does help a little. But with that finished, there's actually only a few things left I want to do. So first of all, the van is using these wheels, and I thought maybe we could just like stick one of them at the front as kind of like a spare wheel. The problem is the wheel size I've chosen makes it that this kind of decal is never really in the middle. So hold on, maybe if I just scaled it down a little. I mean, in real life the spare wheel is also smaller than the actual ones. I guess that kind of checks out. And I mean, it is cute, like, especially for a van this size. Then next thing, I want to add a ladder back here, so you can actually climb up to the sleeping area. Now for this I will probably just have to use the structurals to create a ladder. Oh my god, the entire ladder is completely crooked. That's the problem, that these two bars are just not lined up. So for the second try, for something like this I really like to use this kind of tile texture, because it makes it really easy to sort of figure out like distances, you know? So theoretically all of these ladder thingies should be straight, which they seem to be. Now, honestly that should be everything done. Now I'll just finish up the last details, add in like a small camping area around, and then we'll have a little tour. And here's the final van. I've added in like a very basic nature setting, so you can kind of, you know, see the RV in action. From the outside it looks very basic, it's just like a small van, I guess. And I think the size of it is around 1 by 3 of these squares. I mean, it's a little wider than one, but not by that much. To be fair though, this square is just like not used at all for the living area. So, you know, I don't think that really counts, but that's a different discussion. Overall, it looks really cute. But let's move on to the interior. When we first step into the van, we have the bathroom here in front of us. So I guess we'll just start with that one. So the bathroom technically has everything you need. So we have a toilet, we have the shower right here. We have what is kind of like a sink. It's a drinking fountain. You can't really use it to wash your hands, so that's unfortunate. But it's enough to get your hygiene up. Then of course, yes, here's the mirror and all the hygiene products you would realistically need. I mean, it's the best I could do with the given space. Then over here we have the driver's cabin, which is fairly detailed. Honestly, for the first car interior I've ever made in this game, this is not too bad, honestly. I mean, you can see what it's supposed to be, I guess. And if you're in the driver's seat, you actually look like you can drive the van. Granted, I do look a little short because I'm a teenager right now, but if you go to a dresser and turn yourself into an adult, it just looks normal. Trust me. And here we have the living and cooking area. This right here is our very small kitchen. I decided to add in these upper cabinets and this hood off camera. It does add to the aesthetic, but otherwise we just have this custom cooktop and this microwave to cook your food. And here we just have some basic decoration. Finally, we have a couch right here, which you can technically sit in if you get the right angle. Yeah, like this. So you can sit down. Now, since you obviously can't sleep on this tiny couch, I've added in this right here, which is our bedroom. So there's a ladder back here, so you can climb up. It is non-functional, sadly. Oh, never mind, you can use it. I take everything back. And then you can sleep right here, very functional. Yeah, sadly, I couldn't fit a fridge in here. Like, all of them were just way too big. But I did sneak in this basket right here, which you can use to take a quick meal. Like, I don't know, instant ramen. And then you can use the microwave to heat it up. So I mean, this kitchen is basically more than enough for every college student. And you can technically live in here. So this was a mission success, I guess. But yeah, this is probably one of my favorite builds yet, even though it is so small. But anyways, tell me down below if you like this build or what you want to see me build next. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll hopefully see you in the next episode. Bye!